Mm.
All right. Welcome, everybody. This is Stars of Tomorrow podcast. We have been on hiatus for a while, so let's just first say our hellos. This is Heather Cannon, the United Distance Stars co-founder and executive director. And
Hello, everyone. My name's Kevin. I'm a volunteer here with Uniting Distant Stars, and Happy New Year. I mean, we're in June, but hey, like Heather said, uh, last time we were on the air, it was November, so it's already a new year. So it's glad to be back and just to be able to join up and do this again.
right. And while we wait for our guests to join, I thought we'd just catch you up. So yeah, November was our last episode. UDS has continued. School is on. The current eighth cohort will be graduating this month of vocational students, and right now we're recruiting for our ninth group. Our academic students will be graduating our first 12th grade class this June or July. These are young people. Most of them have kind of grown up since we started the academic school in 2018. So they're pretty excited. They have a class name of Constellation, and they're eager to whatever's going to happen next. But they are learning vocational training skills as they were doing this academic program, and so that's been exciting. And what else? We're working on getting an actual finished plans for building a new center in Brewerville, um, Liberia. And so that is in the works right now. Once we get the full details, that can be shared. So it's just been work as usual. Part of the reason why we had a pause is my dad got declined more than where he was, and he passed away in February. So I took a break from that, and Kevin and I are going to try to get re restarted on a normal schedule since
Yeah.
we had quite a break there. It's like already May,
Oh yeah.
and it's like time has flown by fast. And but yeah, and also Friday I had an opportunity. I was on the Inner Circle podcast. First time I was a guest on a podcast. That was cool. Yeah, and got to talk about, what we do for UDS, our programs and our impact, and had some volunteers. I had a new volunteer come in, help organize our Google Drive. We're a small organization that basically is more virtual in how we operate, and we had quite a mess there. And we also, I'm meeting with someone else tomorrow who wants to help with some technology. She found us on Hands On Twin City. I had some old opportunities out there from 2, 3 years ago, and she found us, and I'm going to meet with her tomorrow. So I look forward to that. So, Kevin, how's everything with you?
Oh, everything's been going pretty well. We had a pretty great close to the year, as well as the beginning of the year was it went well. I was sick probably a couple months ago or a few months ago. I guess when the seasons turn, that's kind of like when you get a cold. But for the most part, just been blessed. I've been keeping up with some of the posts for UDS, seeing some of the students and their, products. I think that's the other day I saw a student from the catering class with a cake that they had made on LinkedIn. So yeah, just been keeping up with things. Things have been going well over here as well, work wise. I started a new position last summer that I've been in for about a few months now, nearing the year mark. All glory to God for that. But just been going pretty steady, and yes, I have missed our online and audio listeners
Okay.
in their hiatus, but just glad to be back doing this podcast with you.
Okay, great, great. Well, our guest today is actually our co-founder and director over in Liberia. and we always have a little bit of connectivity issue, and we're trying to get him connected. But one of the things we wanted to talk about is, as I said earlier, um, we're working on recruiting our ninth cohort. Just get a little background. We do a 1 year vocational training program. So this will be our ninth group to come through. And so they have a program where they start out with theory and then they get into their practicals. And like Kevin said, they start showing their final products, whether it's a cake, whether it's a complex hairstyle, whether it's wiring proposed, like it's like a mocked up like 3 bedroom apartment or whatever.
Right.
So they show that. And those are some of the things they do to say, yeah, I'm ready to go out in the field. Because I think what's important is we want people who can do the work and can do it well and not bluff.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got people who might have read a book and say, I'm an electrician. No, we don't operate that way. We want to
Right.
make sure you have hands-on understanding of the job. So yeah, so those are some of the things we're doing. And what I can say so far is they created a messenger group for all the alumni. So some of the instructors in Kelvin said, okay, we're being challenged with this recruiting. So we're going to try to get the alumni to help us.
Hmm.
And one of those challenges that I'm aware of is motorcycle taxi driver.
Right.
And as Kevin and I know, a lot of people like these, what are they called when you're a door dasher and an Uber driver? Gig work. Gig
Self-employed,
work.
yeah. Side hustle.
Yes, gig work, because it's a gig job. It's based on, you have an app, people want you to pick them up for a car or pick up your food, stuff like that. Taxi driver would kind of be equivalent to that. As we know with gig work, it's not always scalable, you know,
Mhm.
and in this case, a motorcycle driver that is for taxi can be dangerous.
Yeah.
And but everything is it's about that quick money. And quick money can be good for the short term, but it's not scalable in the long
Long
term.
term. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. And so those are one of the biggest challenges we face now in the last group we try to recruit. Now, one of our advantages is that we have flexible scheduling. So when we start a new term, um, we have the students sit down with the instructor and then they determine their schedule. And that schedule then gives us that advantage because it's like, okay, you chose the schedule.
Right.
You said this is the one that's going to work into your life. So you can take those 2 hours
Hmm.
3 or 4 times a week to do this learning, to better yourself while you're
Right.
still out there hustling, doing your motorcycle taxi driver. So
Yeah.
I'm going to do something here to see what's going on. I'm going to call him on Messenger because I know how the internet is going over there,
Hmm.
and it's always
Yeah.
a challenge.
Yeah, but in the meantime, I did want to speak to something that you had mentioned earlier. So you had mentioned how you had gotten engaged, your former alumni, in recruiting. I just kind of thought of it as being maybe having them go to neighboring villages or communities, just to kind of speak on their experience and how they benefited from what Uniting Distance Stars does. It's kind of like here, if you, well, for all the college students out there, you know about tabling. You'll see different organizations in the hallway or on campus tabling, especially at the beginning of the semester or beginning of the school year. And it's just, a way to, put yourself out there and in a way market yourself to help garner interest in what it is that you're tabling for. So in this case, I think having the alumni go out into the community would be a great way to generate some engagement and excitement, thus showing their fellow people like, hey, this is something that I did, and this is something that you can do also. Um, as far as, with helping with recruitment, that's something I'm not sure if that's something that's been explored in the past, but I think it would work leaps and bounds.
Yeah. Well, that's a good question to ask Kelvin.
Oh, he's here.
He just needs to get off mute.
Hi
Hey,
guys.
Kelvin. Hi.
Hi, Calvin. How are
So,
you?
so we're recording this
Good,
episode,
good. How you
and
guys doing?
there you, we're fine. So we started, and we're starting to talk about recruitment. And Kevin and Kelvin, we gotta get this straight now. Kevin already had a question about how the alumni are playing a part in recruitment. So I'll have him ask his question again, and then you can answer that.
Oh, well, hello, Calvin
Yeah,
again.
Yeah, hold on. Let Kevin answer
always
his question. No, let Kevin answer or ask his questions.
okay. All right.
Yes, so Heather had mentioned how the alumni are put into a group to, already. So I was just wondering if it's been explored as far as having them go into neighboring villages or communities, just as a way to, showcase what it is that United Stars does. And, it might just be someone giving their own personal experience and just showing their journey that might inspire someone else. So I kind of compared it to here in the United States, where if you're on a college campus, there are different organizations that table or they're out there marketing, their group just to generate or drum up, engagement and interest. So I'm thinking maybe if that's something that has been brought up before, or if that's something that could be implemented going forward.
Yeah, thank you very much. We have so many strategies that we can apply to for recruitment, and most of the times, I like what we're doing to recruit itself, meaning like the alumni or those who are about to go out, because they will be able to convince the people and tell them, hey, this is a school I have joined and this is what I'm benefiting from it. So I want you also to be able to benefit from the same school.
Hmm.
So they can see the reality, because just going over there and see and say, hey, we are this, we are that, we do this, that cannot be enough to convince the people. So we always try to make sure the alumni or those who are about to graduate to be able to showcase to the people. Oh, you see this, whether by visually, like most of them have their works in their phones. They will be able to show uh, their
Give it a second to catch up.
Yeah.
This is Liberia. Wait,
Excuse me.
Calvin, are you back? You froze. I know what he was trying to say is that they can show, a lot of them like to showcase what they're doing, like on
Oh
their,
yeah.
they take pictures and videos. They sometimes post it out on their Facebook or Instagram. I know some of them are on TikTok now, which I'm not on. And did you ever get back on? I know you.
I I did succumb and recently downloaded it.
Okay.
I don't use it by any means. It's just kind of there.
Okay.
Uh, I, I had this conversation with a colleague at work the other day, and it's like, yeah, I downloaded it, but I just can't bring myself to actually use it because, and I guess people my right in my age group would remember what binds are. That's basically what TikTok is, but just, with the whole marketplace and, I guess this new excitement, but I've at least downloaded it, but I cannot say that I'm, consistent with it.
I got enough social media. I refuse to do that one. So
I,
it'd probably help to have UDS do it, but I would need to have a youth take it over and say, okay, you're in charge over here in Liberia, and something I can promote when I go there next. Who wants to run the UDS
yeah.
TikTok account? And because that way, I know that's a big thing now. Okay, as Calvin sorts out his technical problems, Liberia's always struggle with the internet. Sometimes it works great, sometimes we get this choppiness.
Oh yeah.
But
Hmm.
he was trying to explain what was going on, and I know he's going to probably have to rejoin. Um, I know why they um, created this messenger group is a lot of people lose their phones and sometimes they lose their numbers. And so they started off adding people they knew, and then they started asking those people to add people they knew, because sometimes people stay in contact. Not everybody has always the same contacts. And so I got added, so I've been watching it grow. And I know they've tried to have a couple meetings. And yeah, so that's been a way of connecting with people. Because like I said, what I said earlier with the motorcycle taxi driver, people are looking at the short term. And I get it. I understand it. We understand it. But you can keep the short term in play, but also always have the long term in play.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because like you went to college, but you also knew you wanted a career.
Sure.
And, and you had jobs in between and to say, okay, this is what I need to do to keep me afloat, but I'm looking for something bigger beyond that. And I think that's where sometimes people can get caught up too much in the short term and forget the long term.
Yeah. And I actually just had this conversation with someone yesterday where they asked me, how many jobs have I had so far? Well,
Uh,
so far. And I believe I was able to list all of them as far as what I can remember. So I think I got up to either seven or eight, counting my current one. Um, I I can list them right now. So
okay.
there's been White Castle, Planet Fitness, and then after Planet Fitness, I briefly worked at a marketing company in Plymouth called Oliver Media. There's Wells Fargo. There's the UMD stores on campus, as well as Marshalls. Oh, well, I guess counting it out, that's like five. That's five, I think five. Yeah, not a. Oh, I'm sorry. Hy-Vee, Hy-Vee.
Oh,
I,
Ivy.
yeah, I don't like to consider Hy-Vee because honestly, I was only there for like literally 2 weeks. Like,
It's a good job.
I guess so. Yeah, it's like I mean, there's nothing I'd really put on my resume because okay,
Right.
there's a funny story. So that's the summer I started working at Hy-Vee was when they first built the one here in Brooklyn Park. I was still at White Castle at the time and still in college. So White Castle was my summer job, and I was about to go back on campus anyway, and I'm not sure why, but my mom wanted me said I should like apply to Hy-Vee, and I was like, I'm at White Castle right now. And it's like I'm about to leave soon anyways. And it's like I just didn't see the point of it. But yeah, so that didn't really last too long. Like I said, it was probably about a couple weeks or so. But yeah, so counting that one, I'd say it puts me at six so far. Yeah, so six.
But now you've moved into your career
Oh
within the
yes, career,
financial
career, yeah.
industry. Yep.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
if anyone would like to, listen to like my journey per se, that's in the archives of one of our past episodes.
Yes.
So if you're curious, you can go take a listen. But
Yeah.
yeah, at one point, I was like, okay, this isn't what I want to do long term,
Mhm.
because after college, there is that period where it's like you're still figuring out what it is that you're going to do employment wise.
Right.
So in the meantime, it's okay to have a certain level of consistent income, but just
Right.
not being complacent with it, thinking that that's gonna, carry you forward. Because if you're a young adult, there are things well, I can't really speak for everyone, but at least for me, would start to think about, as far as home ownership, or even other aspects of life as well. So it is good to have a stopgap per se, but also to be able to look at the bigger and long-term picture.
Definitely. And I think in Liberia, since there's not a lot of jobs, like
Mhm.
if you're looking for an office job or stuff like that, the skills is definitely something that's going to make you employable. And when we recruit, we're our alumni, whether it's been on radio talk shows and stuff like that, they have played a part in it through that. But I think now they're looking at more of that, like you said, that personal touch where you're talking to your friends, you're reaching out to those people because you know, times are always evolving and changing. And if you don't change up your strategies, you keep doing the same thing over and over again, you don't get anywhere. And it seems like there's more, they've had to adapt more to more of an on the ground approach
Yes.
than how they used to do it. And that's why they really targeted the alumni because of the current state of Liberia, because it's
Oh yeah.
always changing. Yeah,
Yeah, and it's a great network to tap into,
right.
because what better way to present present your value to the community than through those who have gone through it themselves and have, benefited, whether it's through testimonials or even, you know, seeing it in person. I think that's invaluable to have and, take advantage of.
Definitely. Well, while we're waiting for Kelvin to try to rejoin, because again, we do have these challenges and it's something we constantly are facing. I just kind of want to let everybody know kind of what the year-long program looks like. So first quarter, it's basically the foundations and fundamentals of whatever trade you're in. So like for catering, you're going to learn the kitchen tools, ingredients, and simple recipes like donuts. For cosmetology, you're going to master basic hair plaiting, the foundation of many productive styles. And like electrician, understand tools, materials, basic electrical theory, and safety. So, and then the assessment would be a written and practical test to ensure students are ready to move forward or revisit their key sessions. So that quarter will probably be the one with the least amount of hands-on. After that, it's very hands-on. So second quarter is that hands-on basics. You're going to start really doing a lot of the practical application of the skills with guided instruction. So you're transitioning from theory to practice. They start working directly with materials and tools, gaining the confidence through repetition and instructor feedback. So by now, catering would be like baking shortbread, cornbread, prepare for simple entrees. Cosmetology would work with weaves, attachments, style techniques. Electrician learn to identify quality materials and apply them in basic setups. And then the assessment would be a practical test evaluates their grasp of core technique and readiness for intermediate work. So that's the first two quarters. So they're halfway through. So third, you're at intermediate level with your
Okay.
skills. And then now you might be looking at income opportunities. So you could start earning while you practice. And so you're going to get into more complex scenarios, begin offering services in the community, which a lot of them end up doing. And you're gaining more experience and confidence. So for the catering, preparing advanced baked goods and cook Liberian and American entrees. Cosmetology, start offering facials, manicures, and pedicures. Electrician, install basic home electrical connections. You'll probably see pictures of them where they go out on a contract with their instructor. And Calvin, I'm just going to finish up with fourth quarter and then we'll let you back. Fourth quarter is mastery and final evaluation. So they demonstrate advanced skills, prepare for graduation. They bring everything together, working on complex projects that simulate real world demands. Catering, they bake and decorate cakes, which you've been seeing, Kevin, on our socials, prepare for full course meals, cosmetology, execute intricate hair designs and perfect spa services. We've been seeing that as well. Climb for electrician, climb poles, read blueprints, estimate material, and wire homes. So we got Kelvin Fomba, our co-founder and director in Liberia. Calvin, can you hear us?
Yeah, I'm hearing you guys. I'm back again.
Okay, good.
Perfect.
All right. So, could you just briefly say what are the top three challenges right now for recruitment in Liberia?
Okay, the top three challenges. Number one is an economic challenges, meaning job opportunities. And the motorbikes have become one of the biggest challenges. The youths want a very quick money and endanger their lives. You go to all hospitals now, the highest patients in all the hospitals among the youths is motorbike riders. And this is, they are just thinking within their mind that this is a profession. And no, they are getting it wrong. It's not a profession. It's just endangering their lives. Some have become amputees, that we are now fighting war. And it's so saddening. That's one of the challenges. And also the number two challenge is the drugs.
Mm.
The drugs have begun so rampant. You're moving every part of the corner of the city. You're seeing youths are sitting in the corner, sleeping on themselves and very reckless because of the drugs. Although this government, the past government, can you imagine, used to, meet these guys and give them money and give them food instead of encouraging them, giving them skill training. So, but this government is trying their level best to eradicate or either to reduce the drugs in the country. So that's a second thing. The third one is, as I said, the economic challenges where youths cannot afford to learn. Some of them can have the opportunity to learn, but the problem here is they have the passion, but the problem here, they have no support. And we are a small NGO, sometimes or every time since we started, we gave a 50% scholarship. And, and sometimes we have our sponsors, our donors, some of them give or help the balance 50% scholarship. So they can just register and then right away they enrolled, they start their learning. So these are the three major. So what we're doing this year, we have done a lot of donors and supporters. The we're trying to embark on more 100% scholarships. So we see if we can get like even 40 or 50 students on 100% scholarship, so that we can be able to, because we cannot do all. We are just a small NGO. but these are serious challenges. The number four, we are not in the season right now, is a political season. You know, when you get into political season in Liberia, the politicians, they do a lot of stuff. They bring 1 month, 2 month trainings just for people to, to know that, yes, they love them and they are working, pretending, I can call that a pretending. So as soon as after the elections, whether they lose or win, and that's the end, they no longer continue with them. So you who are doing the right thing, the regular thing, they come and corrupt you and get you confused, and the people go away, they follow them, they feel that, they are going to do something better for them. So these are our challenges right now.
Okay, so I know Kevin is gonna have to drop, but I want him to say another question. And then Kevin, if you're not here to hear the whole question, you'll get the answer and you can check it out later. Fair enough?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I'll get to listen along with our listeners.
Yes.
But yes, while you were going through some of the challenges, I was just thinking, based on the previous administration, do you feel that you've gotten a decent amount of support compared to the recent administration, at least when it comes to, support or funding and everything that you mentioned?
The administrations, you mean for out there or for?
Government,
Oh,
the
the government,
government,
I'm sorry, the
yeah,
government.
Oh,
government
for the
administration.
government, actually, it's very difficult for a private institutions to be able to get support here in Liberia. Uh, you know, um, we are expecting, because the last time I shared with Heather, um, the UNESCO and others wanted to support or wants to support the vocational skill training in this country. But when they asked the government, the report they gave them was not even 50% to the financial support that they want to give. So they only wanted to, they just gave report, record on government institutions. So the people say no, they want the entire country data on vocational institutions so they can get involved into it, because any country, your government cannot help alone. You have to involve private sectors.
Right.
So they have been doing that evaluations, and uh, so we have a series of meetings since last year. So they collected the data, and we have not heard from them yet. We are waiting. But we learned that there was a funding, that a huge funding that they want to support the ski training in this country across the line.
Okay. Well, I think that's encouraging that at least the desire to help is there. I know these
Yeah.
things can take time, but I think it's very encouraging that at least there's a desire to want to help and, make
Yeah.
contributions to it.
Yeah, and the team here in Liberia went all out and make sure that UDS were part of all the meetings, and we believe that whatever data they collected, UDS is part of it. So we believe that whatever benefit might come, accepts to do it the way they want to do it. But we believe that UDS is part of it. That's the most important thing.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So Kevin, do you need to, because I know you had another call and I know we started late, but I like to make sure we stay on the recruitment since it's
Oh yeah,
recruitment
absolutely.
time.
Yeah.
So do you need
Yes,
to exit?
yeah, I'll be dropping off this time, but Calvin, it's always a pleasure to speak with you and get to talk with you, and hopefully I'm not sure when the next virtual tea time is, but I'm sure Heather will let me know. And
We need to reschedule those. Yeah, we kind of, that went on hiatus too, so we need to get back on track with that. Everything's been a
Yeah,
struggle right
I
now.
was, I was, I was really, I was really, Kevin, I appreciate you a lot. I was expecting for me to be there from the start. And as for Heather, she knows how our internet stuff here.
oh yeah,
And
absolutely.
uh, I just pray that we continue these conversations. We have reached somewhere that we need collective ideas that will be able to continue doing what we are doing, you know. So, and we need people like you. So I thank you and I appreciate you a lot.
Oh, absolutely, and it's a privilege to be a
Great.
part of, what United East and Stars is doing, and the vision that they have, especially for Liberia. So thank you and Heather for, just the opportunity to, be able to help.
No problem. Thank you, Kevin, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you both.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. So Kelvin, you gave us some of the challenges, and I know I had already talked about the motorcycle taxi drivers. So let's turn it around. What are your
Mhm.
three main strategies to overcome these obstacles in your recruitment?
Okay, one of my strategies, again, I think, even I think I asked my daughter to send the T-shirt that we printed.
Yeah, I
And
saw that.
yeah, we want to because we did this before when we started. So we have been along that we have not done community reach out yet. So that's one of the strategy. We want to bring that back again. And also we want to involve uh, alumni so that just what we were talking about so that they can give a showcase, they can give their testimonies to who that they are meeting, that they are recruiting, so they can give their testimony. And this time around, even to the radio talks, we want to get based on, because most of the time the radio station can allow it hires maybe 3 or 4 persons. So we're trying to get real alumni that's presently working or benefited a lot so that we can make them to be in the air. Maybe 1 or 2 of us will just be there to make the introductions. Then we'll leave the rest with them for them to be able to give their testimony so that that would be able to get it out. And the other strategies, this is why uh, we decided we are suggesting that most of these things, most of these scholarships, let just use it as a recruitment, and then based on that, we'll be able to get more students this year. Because if we add the last time we checked mom donations, we check out just mom, we'll be giving about 20 some more as we checked the last time. So that would be a great one. And also the phone that you will be sending, I also want, we discuss it, we also want like 15 uh, technical students, then the rest go to the other courses. So that's what we agree upon here. That we want to share that with you. So then we can check how many students will be able to get in total for 100% before we get into the community. So I saw the message that you asked in the group chat. Yes, indeed, you can send it this week because we actually want to know the total amount of the 100% scholarship. That is that's the message we're going to take out. And we want to take that as a foundation. So, and more people will come in, those who will be lucky to be part of the 100%, then they will be the winner. Those who will be able to be part of the 50, then will be able to get them also.
Okay.
So
So
these are the strategies.
okay, so let me just fill that in. So for our listeners, our year-end fundraiser, we raised $2,565 for scholarships, and it was for
Yeah.
vocational training. So that's what he's
Mhm.
speaking to. So we're hoping to get maybe about 29 students between the technical and the non-technical courses to be able to get 100% scholarship. And one of
Yeah.
our monthly donors was also increased their amount, and $175 a month will be going towards students. So we'd be looking at 12 technical and 12 non-technical. So that would be another 24 students. And so Calvin, with those 100% scholarships, they're still responsible for their registration fee, correct? And their graduation fee, whatever that is.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
some
Because
of their tools or supplies that they may need that we can't support at this time.
yeah,
Okay.
that's they were going to be responsible for that because it's from that registrations. We don't want to get involved into what coming. So uh, that registration is what we're going to use to be able to get your T-shirts, your ID cards, and what have you. So that's what we think that will be the strategy this year to help us grab more students.
Okay. So
Yeah,
kind of summarizing what Calvin said, the economic situation has made it a challenge. Um, and for some people, if they don't have the family support or
yeah.
sponsor, things like that, that can be a challenge. And so we've been looking at, we probably need to subsidize what we've been doing so far more than we have in the past. But
Yeah.
also we feel that they should have a little bit of financial responsibility. So the
Mhm.
registration that Calvin spoke of, that would go back to them in their uniform shirt and their ID card. And
Yeah.
then the tuition, because a lot of people don't understand what UDS USA and UDS Liberia does differently. So USA tries to go for like, can we get scholarships? Can we pay for some of the bigger items for learning materials and stuff like that? UDS Liberia, when they get the tuition, that goes into paying the instructors. It pays for some of the learning materials, more like the handouts and stuff like that.
Stationaries and all
Yeah,
this stuff.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, the chalk or whatever they use to, those type of things.
Yeah.
Whereas still some of the students are required because we don't have the money to buy everybody like a kit for
The
like a
training kit. Yeah.
cosmetologist or the
Mhm.
tools for electricians, stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have laptops in our lab, but it's not like we can give everybody a laptop to go home with. So
No.
we just don't have that kind of money because vocational training is expensive, but we do what we can. So like with
Yeah.
electrician stuff, we'll buy the wire, we'll buy all that. So we're
Yeah.
meeting them halfway. What we know what we can do and what they can do. And when they buy their own tools, that's their tools. It's not something they have to give back. So it's not like they're not investing in something that they don't want. And Calvin, why don't you tell a story about when some of the international NGOs did come in, they gave a short training and then gave them tools. What happened to those tools?
Okay. Most of the international NGOs, when they come in, one thing they don't realize is the timing. You know, the timing is very, very short because skill training is challenging. It's not just a month stuff or 2 months. So that quick impact, uh, most people cannot benefit from that quick impact because of the time. Because if you say you are training someone just for 1 month, and even that 1 month is not completed 1 month, sometimes 2 days or 3 days in a week, or 2, 3 hours, so at the end, then they they graduate them and say, hey, you have successfully completed this training, this 1 month training to be able to sustain yourself. This is your tools. So I mean, and which some of them, even the tool bags they are given to them, like a mechanic, they don't even know the tools, how the tools knowledge. They don't even know how to use them. So at the end, they see it not important to them. They prefer to sell it and get that money and do different things. Some of them actually, let's say 20% of them can take that tools and decide to go to garages and be able to, you know, talk to garage owners and so that they can join their garages and continue to learn their courses. But actually, that quick impact with giving them the tools, some of them, like tailoring, they give them machines, but they don't even know how to pedal good. So they just, instead of them finding a way to get someone, but they cannot also able to hire somebody to train them at home with that machine, or neither they cannot take that machine to any school, say, hey, I have brought my machine, so I want to put it here to be learning on it. I don't think if the school going to accept that. So there's a lot of challenges in this quick impact NGOs training that they can bring. And moreover, um, that used to happen whenever there is a problem. And but when there is no problem, these opportunities don't come. So right now, you don't heard about all these things. So it is,
You're
except
meaning
the
because
government.
there's no problem in the country, they're not here to help, right? Is that what you mean?
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
That's what I
So,
mean.
yeah.
I'm serious about it. And it's the same way like the political tricks. When there is no politics time, they are not there to help. It's just the same thing, not even similar. When there is a political thing and they come, uh, they pretend as if they are helping their people. But just after the political season, and then they are done until another political season comes. So this cannot bring any improvements in a country.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right. So you have so you have your challenges, you have your strategies. So your strategies were get in the community, have your alumni on radio show. What was the third one again?
Uh, the 100% scholarship.
Oh, the 100% scholarship. So these are your three strategies to try to overcome the uh challenges you're facing. And so I know that a messenger group was started 2, 3 months ago for the alumni. Have you gotten a lot of interest yet to do this recruitment? And will they be doing something beyond the radio shows? Have they been asked to do anything beyond the radio shows?
Yeah, some of them were suggesting to do like some online interview also,
Okay,
uh, do a Facebook live, you
okay.
know, and do some interview some of them, Facebook
Okay.
Live, so these messages can also be able to go out and people will start coming in to that also. That's another strategy
Okay. Okay.
that they recommended.
Yeah. So the reason why we're doing this is since post-COVID, our numbers have been down. We weren't bringing in the people we did before COVID. Um,
Yeah.
and we've had various challenges. Like Kelvin said, we had an election a couple years ago. The politicians decided to do like these pop-up training centers, but they didn't really train them anything. And so the following year, the youth felt exploited and they didn't trust anybody. So I know, Kelvin, you had to do a lot of like reassuring. We've been around here a while, you're going to learn something. And then the motorcycle taxi driver situation came in as well. So as you can see, the year after year, there's been new challenges, and we have to continue to make sure the students are, or the potential students have an avenue to join us and know that they're going to get something, regardless if they just only pay their registration and tools. They're going to get some value out of the training. As Calvin shared, um, there's been international NGOs come in to do a quick training, give them tools. Since they never knew how to use them, they end up selling them because, again, it's that quick money. They don't see the potential of the long term. They're just worried about the short term, which is happening in many parts. We see that with our young people here as well in the US. So it's important to guide them to know if you do this investment now, there's going to be long-term benefits. So with that, with the recruitment, when are you going to start doing this community stuff?
Yeah, I was just waiting for us to conclude that the last donut fund, so
Okay.
that we'll be able to get the exact amount. We don't want to show amounts that will be will be tracked.
Okay.
So, and the other strategy again, I forgot, was although those radio stations they can charge a lot, we want so that we can find our radio stations that within our area that will be able to make a jingle for us so that they can play it over and over that like in 1 or 2 weeks time, so that they can have it on the radio talking about UDS throughout, not only just going for that one day and then do the recruitment and then we're done with it. That this time we want to make sure that the radio, we pay the radio station that will be able to continue at least in 2 weeks time, announcing, giving that publicity, giving that, messages in what of you, giving, calling the numbers that they should reach out and all this stuff. So that's another one that we added. I forgot to tell you.
So one of the things I'll add in the show notes is we have on our YouTube channel, we have a playlist, and I'm going in there now because I think it's called Student and Alumni Testimonials. And I just
Yeah.
got to remember because it's been a while since I looked at our playlist. And yes, it's alumni student testimonials. So I will put that out there. And we have about 60 videos. They're over several years. But when I was there in 2024, I was able to interview 8 alumni who graduated from 2019 to 2023. And you can hear what they gained, how it's changed their lives by learning a skill. And out of the 8, I believe 6 were self-employed, 2 had employment, with one with the US Embassy in the cafeteria, and another one was working with a facility for electrician. And you'll get to see how this has had an impact, but you'll be able to hear from previous years, Kelvin or others who interviewed some of the students or alumni, depending on if they stop by. And I plan to go again this year. Hopefully we can talk to some more alumni where they're at, how it's going, and maybe there's a couple we can talk to that I talked to in 24. How are things still going for them? Just so you can have an understanding, the impact we're having when people learn a skill and how that can transform their lives. So, Calvin, one of the last things I want to ask before we start wrapping this up is, besides teaching them skills as part of our curriculum, what else do you do to help them prepare for a career in their given trade?
Well, we make them know what entrepreneurship is, and we also try to educate them uh, how to attend an interview and what are some of the possible questions that can be asked for interview and how you answer them. You know, you go straight to the point, not going back and start explaining. Whenever they ask you, you go straight to the point and answer it. So we have also we also always telling them about attitude, you know, human behavior. We talk about appearances, you know, approaches, you know, uh, how to treat human, you know, all this stuff we train them, we teach them. That's this, and this can always be like before starting teaching in a class, or sometimes before.
Did you freeze again?
We can keep like we can keep like 5 or 10 minutes, you know, to discuss most of these things, and how also to apply for a job. You know, some of them are learning, but they don't even have any uh, curriculum vitae. They don't have any resume. So some of them can be bold to tell us, and we can also teach them how to prepare a resume. So these are the things that we can add up to the training.
And but also, through the entrepreneurship, you're teaching them how to bid for jobs, how to do estimates, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
How to do the blueprints, how to do the estimate. If you have a job or if you have a contact, you should know how you're doing your estimate. If not, you might be the loser or you might lose the job. Because if you overestimate and then the person who gave you the contracts or the job might have experience on what you're doing.
Mm.
So you might lose the job and you might find a different person. And also, if you have that fear not to do the proper estimate because you want the job, you're going to be a loser. You might even add more money to complete the people's job. So doing an estimate is a risk. You have to be careful so that the risk cannot become a negative. So always be positive.
Okay.
So
And
yeah, that's
and I
the thing we
and
all.
I and I know you're missing something. So you got students coming in, they're lacking confidence, they're not feeling good, like they can They don't feel like they're going to make it. So what do you do there?
Yeah, we also have a counseling, and we build up their strengths. Just like when you were, on the podcast, you were saying that students, some of them are like academic, they come, they don't want to go back. It is based on that counseling method that we have, because they coming they coming in a different way. Some of them coming, they were compared to come. They were forced to come. They don't even want to learn. So, but when you come in the first place, we try to know who are you and how you came to UDS and why you came to UDS. So based on your responses, we'll be able to know what's the problem, if there is any. So we will be able to go into it and try to talk to you, say, hey, life has so many challenges, but when you believe that there's a challenges, then you'll be able to overcome it, you know. But any challenges you feel that it is bigger than you are not going to conquer it because you already give up. You say, this, I cannot make it. It's beyond my idea, that you are not going to make it, you know. So it's just like when you are a driver and you're driving a small car, and then they say, hey, come and drive this truck. You know, you when you have that belief that you are a driver, you're going to drive that truck. But if you look at the truck and you say, oh, and I just used to small cars and I cannot make it to drive a big car, a truck, that you are not going to make it. So these are all the strategies that we can even make sure we can also go sometimes into religion. Some people, they train their people in a way with a religion that can be stop them for what they are doing. They engage themselves so much into their religion and they forget about their future. And they just see that God, we wake up, they will wake up some money and see everything better for them.
Mm.
But that can never happen. So I don't care how you go to mosque, how you go to church to pray, you should be able to fight for yourself. God is not going to, you know, just look at you and just do all the prayers you're doing in your belief or in your religion. You are praying if you committed any sin for you to be forgiven, but not to say it and say, I pray yesterday, so today I will be rich. No. Or today I will get a job. No. You know, so we can
So
also
prayers
enter
need
into
actions. So prayers need actions. You just can't prayer alone to have money show up under
that's
your
it.
pillow.
That's it.
Okay.
That's it.
So okay,
So
so there's a lot of stuff going on that you got to help them overcome and realize that you
yeah,
got to put some work into it. There's got to be effort. Okay. All
yeah.
right. Well, as we
So
wrap, okay.
hopefully, before we wrap up, hopefully, as soon as we conclude this week, uh, obviously we're going to start the recruitment next week.
Okay.
So that's what we're planning.
Well, this will probably not go live until sometime this week or next weekend. With that being said, do your recruitment right now. What are we offering? What are the courses? When is the
Yeah,
estimated start time?
yeah.
Who's all welcome to come? Go ahead.
Yeah, we are we already on it, but to start officially, We even got some names that some people have already come. They're just waiting for us. So to start officially. So
just do your recruitment now. What's your recruitment? What do you want to tell people that are going to listen to this?
well, I want to tell them that like one time I told you that I was one of the how they call it I went and did I was part of a teacher training, and I was one of the uh, presenter and about the schools, the academic schools. So I was able to do some recruitment there, and they are just waiting for me to drop it in the group chat and tell them, hey, we are ready, and please locate the school and start your process.
So, like I said,
So
what courses are we recruiting for right now?
right now we have presently we are basing on 5. We want to add like just 1 or 2 on it, and so we don't want to offer many like uh, catering, cosmetology, computer, in electricity, uh, let's say
Cosmetology and event decoration
tailoring, tailoring.
and tailoring. Okay.
Yeah, these are the courses that we want to offer. I got a call yesterday, but today, but I wasn't able to go there. I think Adam stuffs have reached, so I need to go there tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah,
And then,
yeah,
so he was just speaking to our former board chair, Adam Pedersen, is trying to do a sewing project with us. And he had
yeah.
sent some stuff over so Calvin can pick that up. So once we get more information, we can share that. Um,
Yeah.
so when would you anticipate courses start?
Um, we actually uh anticipating for courses to start mid next month.
Mid next month. Okay.
Yeah.
And who's all welcome to come? What kind of students are you looking for?
Um, Students that have the passion and not just because of almost free, but you should have the passion to come for the course. This is where we're really going to talk on. We don't want people to occupy the space for nothing at the end. They cannot continue. It will not be good for us. It will not be good for our donors. And, you know, so we really want to focus on that side. We want students that really have the passion, whether you can afford or you cannot afford. But hence you have the passion, you can make it.
So is there any age limitation, any ability limitation?
Well, actually, we believe that except the blind or the deaf, but any ability that you can be able to move and do any one of the courses that we are offering, will be able to accommodate you.
And the reason why we can't do blind or deaf, which they still use that term over in Liberia, we use seeing and hearing impaired
Thank
here,
you.
is due to we don't have the tools to support them, right?
That's it.
Yeah.
That's
So
it.
yeah. So, but if they have other, the abilities, depending on what might have some limitations, but they're able to do it. We're open to that. we've catered to students with limited to no education to college degrees. So
Yeah.
we're able to tailor our programming to serve most needs. And granted, we can't do all because we don't have all the tools, but we do our best.
Yeah.
And so any closing remarks about recruitment before we end this podcast? Any
Yeah.
encouraging
My closing
words or
remark, my closing remarks here is, first of all, I would like to encourage all our donors and supporters that we are still doing what we can do. Let the continue their support, and we are here. We make sure that their support will not go in vain. And also want to tell, I would like to encourage all those who would be opportune to be part of this program, that let the please make the organization to be proud about them, and so that they can be a help for uh, this country and or in the world, because UDS have trained people today. They are in different countries. They are doing something better in that country or in those countries. So I would just like to encourage everyone that our passion is to change life from worse to better.
all right. Well, thank you, Kelvin. We will get phone numbers from you that we can put in the show notes of how people can call if they're interested or know a family member they want to send to our school to
Yeah.
get that training, to learn those skills, to become self-sufficient. So yeah, Calvin again is our co-founder and executive director in Liberia. He does teach some of the courses and academic classes. We do have our first 12th grade graduation happening. Is that June or July?
I mean,
When is the 12th grade graduation happening?
they will be starting the first of next month. They will be starting their WAEC, and after that, then we're going to plan the graduation. But
Would that
personally,
be in June or you don't have a date yet? Okay. And
yeah,
so
we don't have.
okay. So the WIAC is a national exam that 12th graders have to take before they can graduate. And that's what
Yeah,
he's referring to. So that's what they're going to be preparing them for. So okay, well, we just want to thank all our listeners. My co-host Kevin had to leave early because of another meeting. Unfortunately, we started late. So we had to adapt as normal. And if you ever in Liberia, you're always welcome to check out our school. We've had people drop in at different times, and it's a great opportunity to see what are doing. You're free to talk to our students there. And we're doing what we can to help young people get those skills so that they're employable, whether they're employable for someone who has a company or they're self-employed. And that's the work we've been doing. Kevin and I will be thinking what our next show will be. This was episode 14. And we want to just say thank you for being patient with us while we were on hiatus, as I said earlier, because of my dad. And maybe we can talk about that later about the work he did in education and how I see a reflection of his work and what we're doing with UDS. So, Calvin, thank you for your time today. Thank you for adding more clarity of what we're doing, not only with recruiting, but what the student gets out of the training. And we appreciate your time today. Thank you.
thank you to Heather. Thank you for everything you're doing for Liberians, and thank you so much for being patient with us. And we appreciate all your efforts and all those who joining you, listening to you, believe in you. and believe in what we are doing. So thanks to everyone.
Well, from there, we will end this. And again, we appreciate all our listeners for joining us back to Stars of Tomorrow. I